Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And today's video is going to be a recap of my weekly fragrance rotation, what my wardrobe was for the just about second week of November. I think today is the 13th, if memory serves correctly. So, starting off with Monday. Did a full review of this one. You can check that video out. But this is Ombre Noir's Lalique, and Ombre Noir translates to black shadow. It does remind me a little bit of some shadows cast in a dry wood forest. I think I compared this before to the woods that Jack Skellington is walking through in The Nightmare Before Christmas, where he stumbles upon the door to Christmas land. This definitely has a little bit of a boozy facet amidst some very dry red cedar style wood chips that kind of gets you almost to the door of the festive season, but not quite, because it stays a little bit dry and bitter despite the richness of things like tobacco and myrrh. Really beautiful scent, but not for everybody. Very mature, very masculine, and despite the notes of fig and mint sort of freshening it up, making it easy to wear, very versatile, it still has this very spicy, hot, red sort of culinary turmeric curry at facet to the cedar that's in here. So interesting fragrance nonetheless. A rare gem, definitely worth every collector picking up, I would say. Really stunning juice from Lalique. Have been enjoying it greatly, and it matches the season here absolutely to a T. Next, we had Tuesday. So Tuesday, I was testing this one out, hoping to do a full review on it soon as well. This is Hamra from Lattafa. So this is a really nice, cozy, casual fragrance is what I would say this fits the bill for. It's got a little bit of a bubblegum sweetness, some floral nuances, festive spice like nutmeg and cinnamon. One way that this also reminds me a little bit of the cinnamon butter at the Texas Roadhouse. If you ever have had that, this a little bit is reminiscent of that scent profile. And like I said, just something that I like to throw on when I'm feeling a little bit cool and wanted something like a blanket to act in the form of fragrance. This is one that's great for that. Cozy, casual fragrance for the fall and winter time. I would say, though, if you're looking for an Angel Share clone or something to smell exactly like Angel Share, just keep looking, but this is a great one to have outside of being an Angel Share clone, from my opinion. Did get a compliment on this one as well, so this is definitely a mass appealing fragrance for the fall and winter if you're looking for compliments. Okay, so Wednesday. Even though this is more of like a dressed up special occasion sort of fragrance for me, I thought this was just something I was itching to wear, and I really enjoyed it. And maybe it was a little bit out of place just being at work, but this was so great of a textural experience from a fragrance. This is Enigma Parfum Cologne from Roja Dove, also known as Creation E. So yeah, just a very silky vanilla, almost like the silky vanillic qualities that Angel Share has, but this goes more into a root beer float or a cola, or almost like a Jägermeister spiked root beer float is somewhat of a good way to think of this one, because there is a boozy facet to this. Stunning, powdery, silky, just vanillic root beer and rum. Almost reminds me of like a powdered wig to some extent. It's got a little bit of this old school maturity to it, but this very modern, powdery, vanillic booziness. Really great stuff. It is a little bit I get good sillage, but it feels a little bit light for the full-blown winter, so I think the autumn time is really serving me very nicely for wearing this one. And you can usually find these for sub $200 as of late, so I think that's a pretty good deal, just because you know, a lot of niche fragrances are getting up there to $250 for like a 50 ml or $300 for a 100 ml. So this is a good bang for your buck, but I would recommend maybe just picking up a 5 to 10 ml sample, and it will last you for at least the 2023 holiday season. Beautiful stuff, though. Really looking forward to trying the Parfum, not Cologne. Okay, so that was Wednesday. Thursday, this is my, I think, favorite fall fragrance. It's tied right up there with Royal Oud. This is Bellamy Vetiver, and this definitely, the scent profile calls to mind something reminiscent of this burgundy label here. Like, burgundy is a color that really comes to mind when wearing this fragrance. It really smells a lot like a licorice nut butter. There's a very black licorice style sweetness that's very subtle and not sugary or syrupy, that's coming in from an elemi resin in here, and some very like nutty, buttery leather and cardamom, and some like dusty nuances from those spices. It just has this very timeless, classic, well-rounded, perfectly balanced symphony of accords that's a little bit reminiscent of like dried fruits on Thanksgiving as well. Stunning stuff, and can't get enough of it. Hard to come by at the discounters, but I think I would pay full retail again, because I did buy this from Hermes' website. But that was my, I think, favorite wearing experience of the week on Thursday. And Friday is the day I like to wear niche fragrances. This is more of an affordable niche. I've definitely been itching for some barbershop style Fougere fragrances at this time of the year, as well as in the spring, and so this was my companion for Friday, 8 & Bob's Egypt. So this is kind of like Cool Whip and shaving cream mixed together, a little bit like Dolce & Gabbana's the one Eau de Toilette with a Fougere lavender laid over top, or kind of like a niche version of Mont Blanc Presence with a little bit of like the scope minty qualities removed and a little bit more of like a lavender focus. Really great stuff. Just a little bit, it comes off of the opening a little bit old school. It's got that like citric lavender that's reminiscent of the 60s, and it's very fresh and brisk and clean, but this is also, it's got a good balance of adventurism and like safety. It's like a good duality that this fragrance presents. Almost reminds me a little bit of like one of those 1920s safari guys with the hats, like the villain on Jumanji, where you're out there kind of like in the wild, but you feel safe with, if this person is your guide in some sense. This is something to what Egypt calls to mind when I'm wearing that fragrance. So a great wearing experience for Friday. So Saturday I wore 2 fragrances. Started the day off in the morning with this one. It doesn't have the greatest performance. I get about 4 to 5 hours with it, so I was expecting some fragrances to come in the mail, and so I did want to put on this fragrance because it had the less longevity, and I wanted to test it out some more. I've only gotten to wear it a few times, but this is Wonderwood from Comme des Garcons. This is a personal favorite of mine, but not one that I think I would recommend often, just because of the poor performance and the more acquired taste. This is a little bit like Ombre Noir, but it meets the sort of powdery, soft sandalwood cedar aspects that you get from Creed's Royal Oud. So both 2 fragrances that I quite enjoy. I prefer the L'Extrême from Ombre Noir over the original, but sort of if you took original Ombre Noir and the mid and dry down of Royal Oud, that's somewhat what you get here, but it's a lot more sterile, safe, office friendly, a little bit peppery, a lot more dark than Royal Oud. Almost calls to mind this sort of pebble like presentation, like a little bit stony, dusty, but cold and cool at the same time. Yeah, really great woody office fragrance, and another perfect fragrance for this time of the year here in mid-November. However, later on in the day, like I said, I was waiting on some fragrances, and this one came in the mail, which I was really excited to try out as well. This is Ministry of Oud's Oud Royal, and this is a clone of Creed's Royal Oud, and it comes quite a bit closer than Wonderwood did. Both equally kind of mid-range performance. I get about like 3 to 4 hours with this one, but yeah, it goes straight into that misty forest with a soft powdery cedar that you get from the mid and dry down of Creed's Royal Oud. Misses a little bit of the magic of the opening and doesn't quite go as long, but still a really great fragrance for around the $30 pickup mark, and I'm really looking forward to wearing this one. Might make it my fragrance of the day today. And finally, to round off the day on Sunday, I went for this fragrance, which is what I would like to call a casual fougere. It's the blue collar man's fougere. It's just like easy dumb reach Fougere, which is strange because usually Fougeres are classy, upscale, clean, barbershoppy, and this has all that, but there's a certain dirtiness and earthiness, like a salt of the earthiness, like not quite salty, but just very everymanish. And this is Fougere Nobile from 1942, and so this opens up with a beautiful lavender barbershop style of aspect, but that sort of fades away rather quickly, and it dries down into this like dusty, dry cacao, patchouli, tonka, and it's very musky, so it has this very cozy, comforting, pillowy style musk that makes this a cozy fragrance for the autumn time as well. So normally, like I said, this is sort of that casual, cozy fragrance, and things like this and coffee fragrances like mocha wood and Banana Republic's coffee and whiskey. These are sort of things that I reserve for bedtime sort of fragrances. But this has that comforting warmth and powdery pillowiness, but it also has a Fougere aspect to it. So it's great for keeping that warm, cuddly quality bottled up into a fragrance while also maintaining a clean-cut, sophisticated, elegant, going out and tackling the world sort of vibe. So not on it, like it's, I don't know if I'm quite... It's such a strange fragrance though, because it's like I love reaching for it because it's so dumb reach, but it's not. There's no wow factor to it, so it's one that I'm not quite confident in recommending per se, but it's definitely something that I am glad that I have, and it's really an affordable niche fragrance. You can get these for like $70 at Fragrance Net. So, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to wearing this one more throughout the sort of holiday season. So, and shout out to Joel the Nose, he's the one that put me onto this one. So Fougere Nobile 1942, I think a really great casual Fougere. And that was my wardrobe and rotation and week in fragrance. Let me know what your rotation was in the comment section down below. And as always, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.